They saw me do a character. They came to the show one night, saw me do my character, the Pillsbury homeboy. And I go, can I? And he goes, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I started off as a fan of Dragon Ball Z first. Everyone loves it.
Princess Peach or Toad.
Like, what am I watching, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, how in the hiffle are you? My name is Scott Churchson alongside Mr. Buddy the Elf, and joining us today, former Barney actor, but also anime voice actor. You know him from Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. You know him from Fire Force. You know him from One Piece. You know him from Chainsaw Man. But arguably in the anime world, you probably know him best as Majin Buu and Kid Buu from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. Today, excited, honored, and fired up to talk to the one, the only Mr. Josh Martin. Sir, in this case, how in the hiffle are you?
Wow, I'm fantastic after that introduction. Thank you very much.
My privilege.
Appreciate it.
And you're also the person that shares a birthday with me.
Yay!
Yay!
Look at that.
Which is crazy.
Wow, you're welcome. No, I'm kidding. No, that's awesome. Well, us Pisces got to stick together, right?
Exactly. Once I saw that your birthday was the same day, I was like, no wonder we got along. We're Pisces.
Wow. Yeah, right. Yeah. Besides getting along with everyone, you and I definitely got to get along.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, the fish got to stay together. Me, I'm a Virgo Libra cusp, so.
Yes.
I'm weird that way. So.
Okay. Well.
I was going to say, first off, Josh, I want to thank you very much for being here. We first met at, obviously, Chicago Fan Expo. I got to meet you when they did it was the After Dark experience that the Fan Expos do, where they brought a bunch of the voice actors that were not at the convention all day, but they were only there at night from like, I don't know, it was like after the con closed to like midnight, like 8 to 12, or I could be a little off on my times, but and I was like, I'm going to go see who's there. And then we got to talking. You had a picture of Barney, and I was like, yo, I just met Bob West. And you're like, well, I'm Barney too. And then that's how our conversation got started.
Now, was it Barney 2 or Barney
I was
2?
one of, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, boy. I think at the time I was technically number 3.
Okay.
And right. I think there were actually even 2 before the number 1 at the time, but they were short-lived, very short-lived before anything was bigger than a birthday party in a part-time gig. So when I got hired on, there were already 2 guys. Yeah, they were already the TV Barney, and Carrie Stinson was doing special events and other things at the time. So when they decided to do a tour, they already had Carrie in mind, but they needed one more to take to add to it. There were special appearances. Besides the show, we did hospital visits in every city. Nice. That was really nice, rewarding. And then in the show, Barney would make magical costume changes and appearances from one side of the stage to another in a split second. And so we did a little magic trick there with 2 people, the old twin magic. And but it was my first job out of acting school. I had just graduated. When I booked the audition, I had just graduated 2 months prior. And then it was another 4 months until I actually went and started the job. So that was a whole thing too. But yeah, so there it was.
In this case, if I understand right, so basically you're fresh out of this, you just finished school. You're like, okay, now I'm going to go find some student films or indie projects. Like, okay, you're taking over one of the most famous characters on the planet. Are you ready for this?
Even crazier. I was at acting school. I had started a comedy troupe with my friends. my fellow students, my classmates, because we couldn't get any work because we didn't have agents because we had never worked before. So that vicious circle just kept on going. But we, a group of us, had like minds in comedy, from SNL and Living Color, Kids in the Hall, Monty Python, Eddie Murphy. The list goes on and on. 80s comedy, 70s, 80s, 90s comedy. We were ripe for that. And we were in acting school, so we were like, we're pretty funny at parties. We decided we were going to start we just decided we would start our own comedy troupe. And so we did that, and we went to clubs. We got a gig at a local punk club in Deep Ellum. A guy who worked at the school knew the door guy and the owner at the punk club, Club Dada in Deep Ellum, Dallas, Texas. He got us up there, and we performed a lot for one of our friends' moms. Singular. That's one. That's not plural. So yeah, we did that a lot. But by the time we graduated, we had gotten pretty good, and we'd gotten a little following. And I was sure that we were on our way to greatness, and we were going to be the next, whatever. But the state was big at that time. I thought that was going to be us. And graduated acting school, and my first audition was Barney.
Wow.
And actually, I told my teacher, who told me about the audition, because I still hadn't signed with an agent yet. I told her I didn't want to do the audition. And she looked at me crazy. And she's like, "What do you mean you don't want to do it?" And I told her, I was doing this comedy troupe thing. We're blue. We curse a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We offend everybody on purpose. That was our thing. To the point where we can't do 90% of what we did back in the day. I mean, we could, but we'd have to be selective on it. You know what I mean? And even that is questionable, but that's a whole nother show. And then I didn't think they'd want to hire me anyway. I figured they'd see through me quick. And she gave me that mom side eye, because she had been a mom away from home for my 2 years there prior. And she was like, "I think you need to do this." And I, besides having a little loyalty to her and a little love and sentiment, I was like, you know what? I made it through acting school. I guess this is what you do, right? You go on auditions. You can't really pick. You just got to do it. And because I was so sure that I wasn't going to be picked, I was just like, all right, let's get this done. I need to get to New York or LA, or we need to get this going. And well, after 3 auditions, wouldn't you know it, I got hired for the world tour as Barney. And it was wild. It was a great first job.
How old were you at that point?
I had just turned 21.
Wow.
Just turned 21. I got to the audition when I was still 20. Sorry.
And I was going to say, and everyone in your acting class hated the hell out of you.
Listen, everyone was out. It's not like we saw each other. This was more, it was already a college and an established program, an associate's degree. But, once you left the school, boy, the percentage of people that stayed in the industry and that kind of thing is very, very small. And the social media wasn't what it was then. It wasn't a thing, even, should I say. So keeping in touch with people. But my friends, now my friends, they were all of a sudden, they were like, "Are you serious? You booked that job? That's awesome." They told all of our friends.
Nice. Did you? I was going to say, when you realized the magnitude of it, what was the feelings? Was it excitement? Was it nerves? Was it yes?
Man, I really didn't. It was such a like a double Dutch rope. You know what I mean? You look at it, and you're like, oh God, I gotta go. I can't. There's no. Let me try next time. Nope.
There won't be one.
It's action. So, boy, that was my first gig. I had to learn lots of stuff. I'd never done a major production. I'd never done anything like Hamlet or, even Fiddler on the Roof, or, my little country town in Halton, Louisiana. We didn't do that. So, learning an entire play, that was a thing. And doing it inside of a 50-pound puppet, and making it talk and doing choreography and doing that on a 45-foot stage, 8 times a week.
Was it
was crazy. Oh yeah. I think we, on average, is about 120. 120. Yeah. I ate 4 meals a day.
Sure. 2 gallons of water every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would just down a water bottle and then get in the costume and need another one at halftime. Rarely did I need a bathroom break.
Sure.
So, it was wild. We had, you could only clean it with isopropyl alcohol. Yeah. Febreze became a thing at the end. That became because it was a new product. But for the longest time, it was just, you got out of it, it got sprayed down with isopropyl alcohol and let it dry out until the next use.
Props to the wardrobe department.
Hey, let's do that twice. Let's do that twice. Yes, sir.
Yes. Double props to the wardrobe department. Say 8 times a week. Yeah. So
listen, I was considerate. Literally, I understood that what goes into the body obviously comes out, but like all the time, including your pores, especially when you sweat.
Yeah.
So whatever everybody ate, that's what their particular or consumed should I emphasize, because I made sure that I consumed no dairy.
Okay.
At least not before the show. I'd do it right after the show when I went back to the hotel. I'd get a shake if it was still available. But I'd get cheese then, because then by the time I got to the gig the next day, I was good to. It wasn't as ripe. Yes, but also the Jack Daniels the night before. That I was 21.
Calms the nerves.
21.
Calms the nerves.
21. Yep.
Yeah. So so that's huge, though. I mean, and obviously you got a chance to see places you never would have thought you'd be able to see anywhere. How far did you travel with that?
All around. We did all 50 states. We did Mexico, Canada, the UK. After I got off the road, they did another 2 shows, and they did Puerto Rico. They did Australia. They did a couple of extra. I think they might have done New Zealand as well. I can't remember, but they did a couple of extra places. But boy, I went everywhere. Before that, Dallas was the farthest away from Halton, Louisiana I'd ever been.
Wow.
And you're 21 at that point too.
I lived on a 45-foot tour bus. All of our roadies were from rock and roll tours. And so the producer, there were 2 producers, the Barney producer and the tour producer. Jake Berry was the tour producer, and he came from rock and roll tours like AC/DC and Tina Turner, etc. So when it was time to facilitate the crew, he called up his A team,
Hmm.
and they came out, and man, I learned more than I could have ever paid for in a college
Mm-hmm.
on that tour. I hung out with those guys. We kind of became friends along the way. And one night I was sitting in the arena watching them load out. This is very early on, and one of them yelled at me, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, my bad. I'm just watching. Should I not hang out? Should I get out of here?" And he goes, "It'd be better if you were down here helping."
Ha!
And I go, "Can I?" And he goes, "I don't see why not." And for some reason, I just thought that was the coolest thing. I remember watching MTV back in the day, and music videos. The cliche was the empty arena. It'd be open from black, empty arena, and then what's it called? Time lapse.
The time lapse all the way through, yeah.
Yes, they speed through it, and it loads in the show, and then the concert starts, and you see all the footage and everything's going off, the performers going off, and then it loads out, and then it's just an empty arena. And all of a sudden, I was watching it in slow motion. And I thought it was fascinating. And next thing you know, I did that for the rest of my 3 years on the road. I would do the show, then I'd put my street clothes on and then go load out with the boys, and then get on the bus and then go to the next city.
Wow.
And no one would know it was me that was just on stage until one of the crew would use it against one of the locals that wasn't doing their job. He'd be like, "Hey, you see that guy over there? He's working circles around you. That's Barney."
What's your excuse?
Exactly. And those dudes would be like, "No, are you serious? Dude, are you really Barney?" I'm like, "Yep, that goes there, goes over." And I was just in gig mode, you know what I mean? And it was fun.
No better way to get called out than be like, "Hey, you have no excuses," because of the guy that's been working his tail off, literally.
They did it. They did it.
Around, you have no excuse.
Careful.
But I was privileged. I was privileged that they let me come down there and do it because, besides everything else, if I would have gotten hurt, that would have been besides the fact that I wouldn't have been able to work at all. And they would have just sent me home and been like, "Oh well," that
we'll find
that would have
else.
that would have been a whole nother thing on the other end. But they took care of me. They took care of me during the loadouts, but they took care of me because they knew I was the young country boy who had never been anywhere, and so they knew that the little ducky was following them. Mm-hmm. Wherever they went, where do we go in the airport? I'd never been in an airport. I didn't know how to get on and off of an airplane. I didn't know how to do any of that. So it's just like, come on, kid. That's how they were. It was awesome.
Nice. So yeah, not bad for basically 21 years old when a lot of people you graduated high school with or in their junior year of college at that point doing 18 credits and killing themselves. So.
A lot of people were getting their first jobs, but they weren't as cool as mine. So I was definitely blessed.
Now, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, so how did we get to Dallas? Because I know that's where your Funimation.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of went from one right to the next.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was. I graduated high school.
Yeah.
I played sports all my life. I kicked the football for the football team. I played soccer from the time I was 4. And then I played college soccer at LSUS and injured my knee. And I wasn't playing the position that I had grown up playing either.
What did you used to play?
I grew up playing goalkeeper, and then they already had a great goalkeeper at college, so they put me at defense. And I got nailed in the knee on a game and was out for the season. And I also wasn't enjoying school because it wasn't but 30 minutes from my house, and I knew most everyone. It wasn't a new adventure for the youngin, as far as I thought. And so I told my dad one day, I said, Dad, I don't think I'm going back to college next semester.
Ooh.
And he goes, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I think I'm going to move to Los Angeles or New York and be a bum and try to be an actor. And he goes, well, do you want some help? And I went, yes, please.
Nice.
And luckily he was in advertising. So he had used, we lived outside of Shreveport, Bossier, which is about 3.5 hours east of Dallas, Fort Worth. And he had used some talent out of Dallas from the Kim Dawson Talent Agency. And he called them and asked them if they would represent me. And when they stopped laughing because I'd never done anything before, they suggested I come to the school that they have. And boom, that's what got me here.
Wow.
Graduated in 93, was here. I graduated May 93, started school January 94.
Wow.
Acting school, that is. I went to college that fall semester in 93. But yeah, then did the road, and it was a physical, obviously a physical gig, and my jaw was sore, my body was, I was just really kind of beat down. It wasn't that I couldn't handle it, but I also thought, man, I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a lot that I want to apply to comedy, to my career. And nothing against Barney, but I think there's more for me than just this. Not to say just this in a bad way, but I think I need to do something else. And I think the time is now. If I don't do it, then I will always be Barney. I know now that you make what you make out of it what you want, right? So not to discourage anyone from sticking with things and seeing them out, because that's important as well. But I also had the blessing of Sloan Coleman, who was with Barney. Yes. And I told her what I wanted, and I told her what I thought, and we were close enough that I didn't want to do it to her, and I knew what I was doing. I knew what a task it was. Not that I was irreplaceable, I wasn't, but there's just a logistics part of it. I got to find a guy. I got to find another kid to put in this costume. That's what she was thinking, and I get it. But she still blessed me to go on and do my thing. And I got off the road and I called the boys but I kept in touch with them as well. Chris Rager specifically. You may recognize his name, Mr. Satan, voice of Mr. Satan.
Okay. Wait.
Voice of Arlong.
Wait.
Blackbeard.
So he was the one. He was in your comedy troupe.
Yes. Also, you may know Mike McFarland.
Yes.
Mike McFarland. Yep. We were all three in the comedy troupe together with a few other guys.
Wow. Okay. So that's actually really ironic, given the Dragon Ball aspect of things.
Well, that's the important. It's very important in the story. So when I got off the road, I called the boys. I was like, let them know. I had already let them know I was going to be done traveling and that I was ready to do some stuff. Let's go. And we started another comedy troupe, what would end up being our last comedy troupe together, Section 8 comedy. It was a play on the fact that a Section 8 in the military is an honorable discharge for mental health issues, putting it lightly. And it's also housing.
Yes,
projects, right? Section 8 housing. And for us, it fit both of those terms because we lived on each other's couches. We lived together in a 1-bedroom, things like that. Our mental stability and health could have been questioned could still be questioned, but yeah, I say, why pay someone I already know?
Mhm.
I pay someone to tell me something I already know. That's what I mean. But point is, we got together. We kind of honed our experience and got together a pretty good show and a pretty good following. And after about a year, it was every twice a week
Hmm.
at a restaurant called Ozona, about 200 people. And then we also did the improv once a week during that run for at least 200 people. And we also traveled out to the Los Angeles Improv. We made some connections out there, but we were all young country kids, young Southern guys that just were there to have a good time. After we did it, we realized that Rager had smoked a cigarette with Drew Carey's agent,
Mhm.
but he had no idea. And they were sitting there having a cigarette, and she was like, "You guys are really funny. So are you guys here in LA?" And he's like, "Nah, we're in Dallas." And she's like, "Oh, well, do you plan to come out here?" And he's like, "Nah, we live in Dallas." She's like, "Okay, well, have a good night."
Oh.
She walked off, and about that time, the door guy Frank came over and goes, "Dude, do you know who that was? That was Drew Carey's agent. From now on, if anybody asks you if you live here, you say yes."
Mhm.
We didn't know. So, yeah. Anyway, but back we came, right? And as it so happened, about that same time, this was all happened about the same time. Mike was already a fan of anime
Mhm.
and the genre as it was, and I believe we all still called it Japanimation.
Yep.
And he found out that they were dubbing Dragon Ball Z very near to where we all lived, within, at the time, 30, 45 minutes. Longer now, if you can believe that, because of traffic. Just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, so he went and got his part. He went and auditioned. He found out they were having auditions, and he went and auditioned, got Master Roshi. Wow. And then he came to the show one night to tell us about it. And Rager was like, "They gave you a part in a cartoon?" And Mike was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Shh, they gave you a part. They'll give me a part." That speaks to Rager's boisterousness and his aura, right? He is that guy, but he's a sweetheart. But anyway, sure enough, he went and auditioned, and he got Mr. Satan. And over time, they invited some of the crew, the guys from Funimation, and they saw me do a character. They came to the show one night and saw me do my character, the Pillsbury homeboy.
Heard of that? Yep.
Yep. And that after the show, Sabat said, "Dad, I think I found the voice of Majin Buu."
That is an excellent impression of Sabat.
Thanks.
And then you killed him.
I said, "Okay." He said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" "I don't know, nothing." He comes to the studio. So I came to the studio, and I went in the booth, and he showed me the first scenes, and he gave me the little, Cliff Notes 411 of the backstory. He goes, "Let's watch it." And so we watched it, and I want to say that I remember watching it with no sound, right? And I didn't understand anything about flaps. I didn't understand how I could even possibly match what was going on there, right? But that was a gymnastics. That's like being told to do a double round off pike, gainer. Now, you got 2 tries. You know what I mean? That's what it was like. and I was confused at the story, and I thought, what is that? What? Serious? And then sure enough, I didn't say nothing. I didn't do nothing but laugh, giggle, and fight for like, what seemed like an eternity. And
that
I
was
thought,
basically most of what Majin Buu did in the beginning, yes.
yeah, I thought it was a joke, maybe.
I was gonna say I noticed it said the first thing you did was Android 15.
Nope.
Not really. That was the Super Android 13 movie. I think was released afterwards in US, right?
Correct. Yeah, chronologically in Japan, it came out for the Buu saga. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I believe
Android 13 is
you would probably know better than me, right?
Look at my trucker hat.
I went to your IMDb, and it's the first thing that's got you credited because it came out in 1993.
No, because the movie was released in Japan around that time. Because back in Japan, the movies used to be released about every 6 months.
Which you would know more than I would.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and you probably know that here in America, I'm 15, but in Japan, he's 14.
Mm-hmm.
And but that tells you how shipping happened, because we Funimation continued to number the androids in succession in the order that they received them chronologically, and that's the way that they received it, out of order.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, so you're in the booth for the first time. You're watching Majin Buu basically emerge from the giant ball and everything like this. Kaioshin is freaking out right now. Gohan's like, okay, whatever. And you're just like, and you're just this giant dancing dumb pink ball with obscene levels of power that are just way beyond Cell.
Yeah. And I got to do it in a register that ain't mine.
Sure.
Way to go, Josh.
And if that were to be done now, what would that sound like?
Something like that.
That'll work.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it was like getting thrown in the deep end. It was like, oh, okay, and you gotta, gotta do the voice, gotta watch this happen, gotta do it on time, gotta make sure you're not screwing up the microphone. You know what I mean? All the things.
Anime dubbing is so much harder than regular voice work. From that
is wild. It's a gymnastics that has been mostly perfected with Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
And in our production.
Yeah, because originally you had the Ocean dub, with Canada, Ian Corlett, and all those guys, and then of course Funimation came in around 1999, which amazingly also is 25 plus years ago. Which sure as heck doesn't feel like that, because Cartoon Network released that, and suddenly it took the world by storm. Before that, it was some esoteric little martial arts thing with people with funny hair.
Right. Right. It's wild.
You know,
even my mom can pronounce Majin now.
Nice.
That tells you enough.
Does she know what it means, though?
Not necessarily.
Fair enough.
She doesn't.
Demon person is kind of how it translates. So
it came a long way from margin.
Margin.
Damn right. Margin Boo.
Right. I just say boo.
You were pink butter. No,
does it feel like it's been that long?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because when we started it, like I'm talking about it right now, I know that it's forever ago.
Yeah.
Over like years.
Even though I could drive to the original location from my house right now in 10 minutes.
On
at the fourth floor of a bank building.
Wow.
That's still a bank building, but there's no extra anything in there anymore. But and you realize it too, that boy, you go to the conventions now, luckily you get to meet people and they let you know it in the best way. I mean, you know what I mean? They're like, oh my, you wait a second, you started and you way too young and you pass it down to your kid. Okay. All right. I'm old.
Well,
I'm old. But but luckily even beyond conventions, I'm still doing stuff.
Yes.
So it feels kind of fresh for me, and I refuse to grow up. So
Good answer.
Hey,
So,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Rob, you got something?
I was gonna say how kind of what you just mentioned. How does it feel to be a multi-generational character that people still love? And like I know personally with me, I grew up. I had a PlayStation 2, and I grew up playing the Dragon Ball games. You know,
okay,
and
all right,
Majin Buu was my favorite character to play.
yeah. Well, thank you for that. All of that. It's a story that I've heard many times before. I'm sure a few of the voice actors may have heard a similar story, but
Yeah.
whatever. I do know that he's pretty much the hardest one to defeat in every video game he's in.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I didn't do nothing with that. But to expound on that, I would just say that I'm super privileged. I learned this with Barney.
Yep.
That you can't pick the parts.
Mhm.
You put yourself in position and let the rest of it do its job. You do the best with what you can. I could have, should have, would have done some different, better things with Barney, but I was fortunate to be able to do some really great things with Barney, and I keep that in mind with the position that I have with Boo and everything else that I'm doing now.
Now, one of the questions that I was asked, by the way, I got this question directly. Why is it Majin Buu falls asleep when they need him the most?
Come on, you tell me.
Dude, honestly, he's a white mage. In this case, you don't mess with the white mage. And the Tournament of Power would have been better off and easier if you had him versus Frieza, because he can heal instantaneously. It is very difficult to actually push him anywhere. You know, you saw what happened with Vegeta. He blew himself up. Nothing happened. And Boo was like, okay, I'm going to reform now. You know, I mean, that would have made it so much easier to take out Jiren and everybody else, you know, and but no, he falls asleep because plot.
I think I have no idea, to be honest. Let's be
a lot of us were
disclaimer here,
by the way, for the record.
My interpretation is that they were free writing, and they got to the part where I completely destroyed everyone, and they realized that they needed 10 more episodes, and they went, food coma.
Yeah.
And put somebody else in there that, You saw what happened when I woke up.
Yes.
All right. Before I went to sleep, number one, they messed with Mr. Satan.
Yes.
And they quick had to give me a pile of cakes. All right. Then I was chilling. Then they tried to destroy things again. I woke up and they were like, oh no, more. So you knew. And I want you to know that I found out in real time as I'm recording this.
Oh, that sucks.
All right. And let's watch. He's sleeping. And I did it. All right. And you sleep. And I went, what you mean I sleep? Like, until when? Like, until you never wake up. Yeah. Oh, I was angry.
Yeah.
Super. I was like, ain't that a blip? Ain't that a blip? But I want you to know that right after that, I went on and recorded Ewan and Kettle in the same session.
Yeah, so you did get a god there. You get a couple of gods there, I think, actually. So
I can't complain, man. I can't. I really can't. I gotta stay true to the character, which means that I ain't happy about it. But you know, they still call me back for a thing here and there. And boy, I had a good run, even if I don't know nothing about nothing. But I wind up getting in trouble if I say things.
I understand. Yes, I've watched enough videos with Sean, Chris, even the guys from Team 4 Star, so I know.
Even when I think I know, even when I think, oh, wait, well, doesn't everybody know? well, somebody asked me about it, so they got to know. No? Oh, well, now I'm the one in trouble?
Mm,
Me? I don't,
yep.
man,
Man.
Yeah. man,
Sound like that one kid from Christmas Story. Man.
let's dance, Goku.
Nice. Okay. So
Right? Break yourself.
So you go to a lot of these different conventions. Like I said, I've seen you in Chicago. I also saw you at Cajun Con recently. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Great time.
I was running with my head cut off because I was the official consigner. So people, I got like over 70 items signed throughout the weekend and
Nice.
through the 2 days. And I only got to see you the once, which I was like, we saw each other. You're like, what up? And I was like, yeah, I know him. And then I had to keep going. And then I was like,
That's how it happens.
again. And then I was on my way home and I said, I never saw Josh again. But I was like, I've got his business card. And then
It's tough. I'm glad you called.
Yes, I am too. I was like, I looked at your business card, and one thing I didn't realize with your business card, it's like, yo, there's his phone number. I knew I had the email, but I didn't realize the phone number. I said, you know what? It's time to get this interview. I'm going to text him, and you text right back, and you're like, can we do it this week? And I'm like, yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's all about doing it.
On that one, sir, all the way through. So.
Yes. So I did want to ask, so you go to a lot of these conventions. What are some of the more popular voices, like lines that they usually want you to say as Majin?
Yeah, I don't get asked to do any specific lines most of the time. Every once in a while, I'll get asked to write something specific on a pop or whatever. But like I said earlier, Fat Boo, Kid Boo, Evil Boo, they have very few lines. The most I say is in video games.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the most lines I ever say. But I usually just do like meet you up or Boo kill you.
Did you do the monologue for GT when he said goodbye to Mr. Satan? Was that you too?
Ooh. I have to read it.
Okay. Because there was the monologue when he merged with Oob, also a criminally underappreciated character in my mind.
Yeah, that was, and see, that's another thing. I wasn't ready for that either.
Yeah.
They just said, and that's it. I went, what do you mean? And I really thought at the end of that I guess I'm not doing any more cartoons.
Yeah.
I still called them cartoons too.
And the game started after that, though.
Bingo. My mind was blown. I was minding my own business, doing my own thing over here in acting world, and then Pager tells you how old I am. Pager goes off and it's Funimation. Hey, are you available for this? Okay. And they didn't tell you what you were doing, so I just showed up and it was for this video game, and I went, what do you mean? Oh, it's like soap operas. I don't ever have to die. Sweet.
Yes. A Marvel movie.
Bro, 25 years later.
Yeah.
It's wild. Wild. Caps lock.
And now, because so many of the games also cross storylines and everything like that, Boo is now in the original Dragon Ball storyline or fighting Vegeta in ape form. So you have so much more dialogue going on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just, I was going to say, speaking of the video games, did you play them? And is there a favorite one that you played?
Man, I'm going to be honest. The last one I played was Tenkaichi.
The first one?
Yes. That was the last one I was able, that I had a console, because that's how old I am, to play. Not that you got to be young to have a console, but I also had 3 children. So the console, I don't even, Oh, anyway, yes. So Tenkaichi, but I've seen people play the other games. Z.
Yeah.
Fighter Z. Oh, I take that back. I played Fighter Z in the tournament there. It was us against, there was 5 voice actors against 5 other voice actors. It was all Sorry, this was during this was COVID times,
Mhm.
so that was a little fuzzy. So yeah, that's the last one I played.
Nice.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm a button pusher. I'm a button pusher.
We only have a few.
Unless it's a driving game. If I could put Boo in a Wacky Racers game, get out! I win. I'm the champ.
Or that one episode where Goku and Piccolo get their driver's licenses. So
What that would be a great mashup, a Dragon Ball Z and Wacky Racers mashup. Let's go this station.
all right.
Put your seatbelt on.
Can we get Scott Innes to do a crossover as Hanna-Barbera characters like Scooby-Doo or Fred Flintstone?
That would be funny.
Can we make that happen?
I think he can do it.
We got to wrap up in a couple of minutes. I have one last question. Rob has one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you go, Scott.
Thanks. In this case here, you said you got 3 kids. What do they think of Daddy's? I mean, obviously, with anime being as big as it is for anybody under the age of 30, what do they think of Daddy's job?
They think it's cool. They use it if teachers or friends are fans, but otherwise they could care less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they kind of, because my wife is super responsible and she makes a great living. They kind of look at me as just goofing around.
Yep.
They don't understand that I get money and that we do things with it for them. You know what I mean? They just think that I'm over here like, oh, I go talk silly on a microphone or go sign autographs and go party or whatever. They have no clue how many hot dogs, how many cold showers, how many blankets I used to sleep, you know, how many hard floors I slept on, you know, how many times I didn't eat, how many shifts I had to work so I could go and talk silly on a microphone, how many times I stretched $35 for 1 hour of voice work for a month.
Ramen noodles goes a
you
long
know what
way.
I mean? Right? Yeah. You tell somebody, yeah, I made $35 an hour. And I got 2 hours for a month.
Yep. I get it. I do get it.
How much? What am I gonna do with $70? I had to give up $100 lunch shift to make that $70.
Yeah.
And I had to drive there. So, but yeah, sorry, I talk shop. That's how much they paid us, but I think it's pretty well known anyway. But that's why we, right? Yeah, that's what I got paid.
Damn, dude.
And yeah, and that's why we got no good or known actors at the time. You know, that's why we were all brand new. That's why some of us had never done any acting before, or any voice acting, or anything else. Some of us were just musicians. Some of us were, just friends in the tech world. You know, there are all kinds of those. But that's because. Oh yes, they take much. Yes, no, thank you, and that it's a lot of it's because of the popularity. You know, finally, and it's taken a while. I'd say it's probably in the past 10 years, if not less. Has that rate gone up to something that's adequate? Because all of a sudden we started going to conventions, and we had the A-list of the convention scene. Sometimes A-listers off of the convention scenes that'd be like, how do I get into voiceovers? We're like, but you are filling the, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to make pittance per hour to do for you might, if you Goku, you might get 2 sessions of 8 hours. You might get that, but that's probably for a video game these days, definitely. You know what I mean? Maybe for the movie you getting that. But that's okay, great. You got to make that last. If it wasn't for conventions, you'd have to make that for extra longer.
Sure.
Even if you were Goku, making great money per hour for 16 hours.
Yeah.
You still only get 16 hours for a month.
Start setting up that Cameo and do the voices that way, Rob.
Yep.
And luckily, technology's here and lets us.
Sure.
I like to say, I just said this recently, is I forgot who I originally heard this from, but I always hear that like conventions are your guys' residuals. The fans
Absolutely.
are giving back, you know.
That's what I say.
And
That's what makes being in a right to work state
Yep.
work out. Because if we were working for Disney, we would have to get permission from Disney and or be
Yep.
used by Disney and sent out to these things, right?
Exactly.
And if you know, or if I work for Disney and all of a sudden there is a strike, without crossing picket lines, I can't talk about what I've already done that's under union contract or what I'm doing at the present time or might do under union contract. That's all under, I can't talk about it.
Right.
But, you know, yep, residual conventions are residuals, but boy, it's great to be able, for me, being from comedy and live performances, I like that. I like that interaction and that instant gratification, you know, at least the instant feedback of whether I'm doing good or not coming from comedy. I've heard a few times when I wasn't doing it good, you know, but boy, there's no better training than to, oh, that didn't work. I got about 2 seconds to switch that up, you know, or I might get a tomato or a beer bottle or, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And proverbially, that's the same thing that happens in the dubbing booth. Because a lot of times we get brand new characters in an instant, you know, okay, we finished with that one. Can you pick up this show? Got this guy. It's a guy on a bench. I don't know anything else. There's a reaction of a guy that runs across the screen. Let's watch it. And you watch it and then you record it the next time. So, but if it ain't good, you might get one more try at it. And if it ain't good the second time, they'll move on and you probably will not come back.
Wow.
That's fair.
But if you get doing on stage, you know, doing stage live comedy, you do something that you're trying to get a good reaction from, you're not getting a good reaction. Boy, there's no better way to look someone in the eye and be like, how about this? They'll let you know. Anyway, I love the interaction. I love humans.
Awesome.
Me too. So I know we're about to wrap up, but I wanted to ask, speaking of you voicing other characters, one of my favorite animes as well is Fairy Tail. It said you were in 8 episodes, but what character were you? Because on IMDb, it doesn't say what character you are. So I wanted to ask you in person.
Fairy Tail.
Yes.
I believe that is Picardy. Is that right?
Oh, is that the character you play?
I think that's from Fairy Tail.
Okay.
I'd have to screw up my phone to look at it.
You're good.
At the moment.
That's one of my favorite animes. So when I saw it said 8 episodes, but it didn't tell me what character.
Man,
that's one of my favorites. I love the whole Natsu and the you got the blue cat that just talks sass and the most wildest things.
Yes, I believe I'm Picardy, the one with the little cat ears.
Yes.
The boy,
Okay.
the young kid. Yes, that's me. Yeah,
Okay.
That's who I am. Thank you very much. And like I was saying earlier, lots of times we get the, hey, can you do this? That's one of those instances. Sometimes we do it and they haven't been named yet. I mean, sure, there's some more main characters that have a given name, but sometimes it's guy in red shirt and then he winds up being Victor, or you know, I don't remember. I don't know. He said, hey, good job. I did it. And they said, good job. So I went on. I don't know.
And someone sees you 12 years later. Do you remember you were that guy that said, good job in a red shirt?
They do.
I know.
They do. And I appreciate it so much.
Hey, you
I
remember
love
that
that.
episode 15? You know that one line that you said? Can you read it? You know,
Dude, it is creepy
I-
when I get people to come up and he's like, I remember you from Boardwalk Empire. It's like, dude, that was 2013. It's like,
Right? I can most of the time I have to say, okay, what did I say?
Yeah.
I don't tell me what I said and I'll say it. I couldn't tell you.
Last question. What is your favorite color?
All of them.
All of them.
Yes.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Nice.
And where can the beautiful people find you on social media?
Original Boo. All one word, all lowercase. No crazy spellings.
Boo with
B-U-U.
2 U's, by the way. I want to point that out.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yes, sir. ORIGINALBUU.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we got to talk to the legendary, the one, the only, Josh Martin. That's Scott, and I'm Buddy the Elf, aka Robert Manning, and you are watching Tales from the Film Set. Woo!
Bye-bye.